Caitlin.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Okay, so let's first start out with how did you get into acting? Was it just a thing you wanted to try out, or did you get a feeling and just go from there?
Um, I suppose I've always wanted to entertain people somehow. I mean, not like dancing on a pool or anything, not that particular avenue. But I've always liked making people laugh, and then eventually it just kind of hit me. Oh, there are actors. I suppose I should try that out and see if that's the venue I'd like.
um, so do you find yourself more of a comedian actress? Will you go towards like other genres of acting, maybe like drama or mystery?
I do like drama, so I do like comedy as well. So I think I'm gonna try maybe down the middle, like do a drama, then a comedy, then a drama, then a comedy. So then it mixes it up a little bit.
That sounds good. So let's talk the middle. Can you tell us about your character Weird Ashley to those who haven't probably watched the middle or haven't seen the episodes with you in them?
Let's see. Weird Ashley pretty much marches to the beat of her own drum. The only problem is her peers around her think that's weird, even though she's only being herself. She believes she's quite the normal teenager, but the people around her beg to differ.
Do you find yourself connecting with Weird Ashley in some sense, like attributes or quirks?
I suppose in the sense of not being understood by peers. I mean, going through school, sometimes that happens, and they give me weird looks, and I just go, oh, never mind, just go back to whatever you were doing. But I guess I wasn't had the nickname all throughout school of being weird, so I guess that sense I kind of blended in.
What can we expect from Weird Ashley later in this season?
I do have an episode on this Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
the 27th, and it, I suppose now it's gotten to be like the Where's Waldo of the middle. They like spot Weird Ashley ever so often,
Mm-hmm.
and I am slated to do another episode soon. So hopefully it will be nice and good. Yes.
It's always good. Um, what do you hope to come out of Ashley later on the middle? Do you hope that she will become more often or connecting with other characters?
I suppose probably the latter, to the point where um, something comes out of her relationship with Axel. Either it ends or it keeps going or some middle ground. I don't know. Something where it's kind of a little more baked in the story where you don't quite know if it's ending yet, but it gives you a little taste.
So, yeah, just to keep you on the edge of your seat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, can you tell us what we can expect from this upcoming episode on Wednesday?
Now, I can't say too much,
Um,
but there is um, there's food involved.
Food is always good.
Yes, food is always very nice.
So, you're also on another TV show, Anger Management. Tell us about your character, Olivia.
Olivia, she's just, I suppose, she really wants to be an adult, and she really wants to have adult relationships and whatever, and she believes that she truly understands the adult relationship. She has all the lingo, but she can't really apply it that well. When it comes out of her mouth, you don't believe that she truly understands it.
Mm. So, how do your characters Olivia and Ashley differ, and are there some similarities between the characters?
I suppose there's some similarities in like some of the awkwardness is some of the stuff Olivia says. You just have to shake your head at because you're like, no, it's not. Oh dear child, I need to teach you some things. But Olivia's more. I suppose Ashley's more set in on only Axel, while Olivia's just kind of like, hey, I want to do it all. But then you don't believe her, so. In that sense, Ashley's more one. I suppose one note where it's just Axel.
Mm-hmm. Um, Hold on, I lost my list. Oh, there it is. Um, so we got a few fan questions, and then I have a few more after that, but I want to get to the fan questions. So, I can't pronounce the Twitter name. Goni X88, I think. What is it like working on the set of anger management?
It is a very fun set, and they have multicam, so you get your scenes relatively done very quickly. You're in and out of there pretty much, depending on the complexity of it. But everyone on there is just, I mean, everyone I've met so far is hilarious. So it's a nice, upbeat set, even though you're working. But it's all nice vibes, and you're joking around, you're getting your scene done, so it's not too stressful.
And what is it like working on the set of The Middle and behind the scenes and stuff?
It does take a little longer because it's single cam, so you have
Mm-hmm.
to move the camera around. But everyone knows each other and like takes jibs at each other, playfully of course, but jokes and then just hanging out. So that helps to make the stress of the camera moving and thinking of all the stuff kind of go away. That's always nice instead of dead cold silence staring at each other.
Are there any playful pranks between the cast members on either of the shows?
I haven't seen any for anger management, but usually I just, like I said, the scene's so quick, I usually get out of there fast. Um, but for the middle, I guess there have been a few things between the crew, but I haven't seen them. I've heard about them, but usually it's just like one-liners, and they just keep one up with jokes and whatnot. So that's always nice to be around.
um, Love for Another asks, what is your advice for young aspiring actors and actresses?
I suppose try and just try your hand at writing or making your own work, because even though you do go out for auditions and whatnot, and it could take, I mean, could take a while to get something or whatever. But if you have something like writing or have yourself in and try and get that going, at least you're working on something else instead of waiting around. So you'd still be waiting around, but you'd still be creatively working on something that could, in the long end, benefit you. So it's nice to do your own projects and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So we also know that you're a full-time slash part-time student, I guess. And how hard is it to maintain your grade point average when you're also doing all these scenes and things?
Well, thankfully, I have most of my classes I try and get online,
Mm-hmm.
so then I don't have to go in physically, because that ends badly. I usually have to withdraw before the final, or yeah, so I don't get an F because work gets annoying. But for online stuff, usually I can get it in. Say if I usually know when I'm going to work, so I get the work done either set for before or after. That way I don't have to worry about it on set.
Mm-hmm. Um, Neela87C, is there any other TV show you would could if you could star on, what would it be? Ugh.
I would have to say either Mentalist or Grimm.
Mm.
Yes, I like a Big Brother's Grimm, and the Grimm. I'm kind of supernatural lady.
So, do you like the Vampire Diaries too?
That's a bit more romance. I haven't gotten into it so much just because of that, because even though it could be a very good show, I find myself sleeping around romances. But if it's supernatural first, generally I can get through it.
uh, Tell us one quirky fact about yourself. This is what we ask all our stars that we interview, and we love to find out their quirky facts about themselves.
Whenever we're driving, or with whoever I'm driving with, I like to look out the window and try and spot squirrels. Squirrel? Oh, I'm sorry. What were you saying? I'm sorry. The fluffy tail distracted me from your boring conversation.
Yes. So, okay, we we love both your shows, and we hope to see you very much in the future, like in many different projects as you can. And we just love you, and you sound like a quirky person, and we love quirky people because our company is full of quirky people. And we'd like to thank you and your publicist for letting us do this interview today.
Thank you for interviewing me.